effect for to draw the sword. Forward, up and rally.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with the Scottish campaign. Last time around we dealt with the final battle that needed to be done in North America. And now we'll just deal with the siege of Kernisburg, which unfortunately was not an out result, so I'll have to play it. We've got the Polish army against some Russian defenders, most of which are different sorts of militia and garrisoned troops. Hopefully, should be no problem in defeating this. Once that is done, we will end turn and we will brace for the might of the enemy's counterattack. And with that, the battle is underway. We've just opened up with the 12-pounders. There wasn't really a good starting position for the artillery, but I think I found the best one. Luckily enough, the AI actually kind of set up on that side. I wasn't really sure where they want to set up, but I'm lucky here that they set up here, because they did have all of this as a potential deployment zone. The AI, though, has dug in with its artillery, which is just going to be a hindrance for them, and it's going to make it easier for me. We're going to continue to bombard while the Polish line infantry advance across here. I was expecting them to deploy right across from me, so that's why we're coming in at a slight angle. Perhaps I should have moved. Perhaps I should move the artillery closer, because I don't think we're getting any good shots off here. So I think we might here. And then I did do well in that I deployed the bigger amount. I've got 3 hussars on this side, and I've got 4 on this side. Right, most of their shots are going into the ground. The hussars here. I definitely see a way for the hussars to snipe their way at these 2 cannons and potentially making their way through town. So we're gonna angle them like that, which means that I can take out 2 batteries and then... Right, can my batteries move? Yes, they can. And I want them there. Right. Have we been hit? I don't think we've been hit at all by their guns. It all goes straight into the ground. Wonderful. And they're not really moving any troops there to cover for my advance here. And just as I say that, it looks like 1 unit were potentially doing that. But not really. And the guns continue to fire straight forward here. Since they just fired, I'm going to go ahead and order these 2 to speed up in their approach and attack on the enemy's guns. It could be that perhaps I should wait to kill off their guns until my cannons are in position. But I figure now is best, just as good a time as any. Perhaps they'd already reloaded by the time I got here. I will order this one to come up to this side. They're just reloaded. Unfortunately for them, I'm just off to the side so they can't get me. I'm looking a little bit at this one. He's does not look like he's interested in coming to the cannon's aid, so we're gonna just sit here, shoot them down. And then this one will march up, or ride up to get this one. Right, they're just about to fire. Damn! We got so many out of them. I thought we'd get a few of them. I didn't realize I got more than a lot of them. We got a lot of them. 2/3 of them down. Only 8 remaining. Normally it doesn't. The sort of hussars don't do that well. I don't think this one is going to do as well, given that there's some terrain in the way here. Hold fire, and then I think we need to call up the third one because we've got reformed arquebusiers turning up. Okay, so that second attack here did not go as well. Let's line up both hussars here to attack. Yes, they fired early, and most of their shots went into the ground. Unfortunately for them, that's exactly what happened. And now I'm calling on my Polish hussars to charge in and get rid of that troop. Meanwhile, the enemy doesn't seem to care the fact that we're the battle has begun, and I'm slaughtering their troops. I'm gonna order the line to move like this in their attack, and the reformed arquebusiers are about to give way any second now. Important here that we do not follow them into the spikes. This one's actually looking the wrong way. I'll move up my hussars, order them to fire at will. Ah, there we go. The gun is now removed. They're allowing me, but it could be the indecisiveness of them is because they don't have a proper general, or at least that's the roleplay reason we're gonna go with, rather than the AI is just stupid. Right, the mercenaries are firing pistol at us. However, our carbines should have higher accuracy and more of a strike to them, even as we are shooting at armored cavalry. However, as the enemy line infantry seem to be on the move. Oh, of course you're gonna swing into that a little bit. Right, let's have the hussars then move to the back and allow the Polish infantry to start their work as working their way down through the line. The guns are just about ready to set up. I do realize here that I've put my infantry right in front of this battery right here, but I'm thinking that, you know what, we need to gain quite a bit of ground here, I feel like, and then I will be using these two to flank around. Right, the guns are ready. Deploy. What remains of the enemy's cavalry, the German mercenaries, will be taken on by the rest of the hussars. I should actually move all the hussars over to this side, and then we'll swing around the enemy for one giant attack on them. Right, what are the guns? They're reloading. I don't know, I think it might be... we might be too close to... or my own infantry is too close to the fight to actually take part in this for the artillery to fire at it. Oh, the enemy is going straight into us here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the units and move it slightly back, so as the enemy comes in, they'll fight this one, but this one will still be able to fire, which allows us to just produce a lot more damage on the enemy. They opened up here, a devastating effect on this unit. It's lost 50 men. Here, it seems to be working. It's gonna work even better as soon as these guys start shooting. A little bit disappointed here that we haven't done more damage on the German cavalry there. But I'm gonna have the hussars ride through now. And then these guys ride up there. Why aren't you shooting? Go on, shoot them. God damn it. I think the enemy is, their cannon is firing canister at us. But it's not really doing that much. And oh, we've already struck the enemy over there. Which was not my intention to get into battle with them that soon. Oh, this one's firing a point blank range now into the Russian force, and we got plenty of Russian troops retreating now. Thing is, I'm still a little bit worried about all the obstacles. This one's definitely going for us, so I'm gonna order an attack on that one. And then the retreating Russians gonna get hit by the hussars. Make sure these guys don't come back. Right, the Russian force is collapsing. Very few, if any, of their troops still standing. These two are about to give way. This one as well. The ones that are fighting strongest, this one here and this one here. This one's getting heavily hit by musket fire. Little bit worried about all the spikes and stuff. I figure at this point it's better actually to try and shock the enemy into submission with bayonet charges, and I'm gonna order the cavalry to back off and try not to have them run into the spikes and kill themselves. And just an overwhelming amount of bayonets barreling down on my Russian foe has seen the Polish army has captured Kernisburg. Hooray! And here we have the results. We deployed 3,500 men against 3,300 of the enemy. I only lost 560 men compared to the enemy, which lost their entire force. I do note here that we killed about 100 of our own during the battle. It would be interesting to see exactly what it was. I'm guessing it's the cavalry charges that probably rode into some spikes, but then also perhaps rode into some infantry, and that is where those kills come from. Nothing really interesting to be said here. We don't have any named units to be counted. Perhaps interesting to see that the line infantry killed as many men as they did. However, of course, since it's a siege battle, all the defenders are killed, and then even the ones that are retreating are killed and distributed among the units. But it still sort of reflects what happened. But we shall not linger here. Should go ahead and repair and build this up. And in terms of this, what I want to do is I want to build a trade port there. The Prussians do actually already have a trade port, so perhaps they should keep a shipyard then. I am tending to hand this over to the Prussians. I will just go ahead and do some changes though. What is it going to cost me? 3,000. Right, with that, it's now time for me to go ahead and end turn and brace for impact, as it were. Let's see what the enemy has in store for us. Well, the enemy did not actually engage directly with us, so they didn't bring us to battle anywhere. However, they marched around the troops a lot. The Russians actually asked for peace, but they asked for peace and they wanted me to give them a region. We have an agent recruited in Anatolia, a factory master doctorate, but also pretty skilled with the blade. Workers on strike in New France. I imagine a lot of these trade route is being attacked. Letter of demand from Pennsylvania. Workers on strike in Pennsylvania. Letter of demand from New France. Drill school. Letter of demands Hanover. Strikes in Hanover. Letter from Venetia. Blah 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 blah. Basically everywhere. The first rate ship of the line has been built, 4 of them, in the English Channel. We also have Scottish Line Infantry up in Scotland, and then we had these troops in Don Visco. The Russians wanted me to give them Don Visco. Fleet has arrived, so that's the trade fleets that are escaping the enemy, and I think that what we'll do is... Where did this trade line go? Because I can't see it both any side here. We'll go ahead and combine them and then just have them sit raiding the trade here for now. So that was those 2 fleets that arrived. Enemy attacked some farmland and stuff up here, but nothing important really. So, a new nation. So with the French getting hit here, the natives are seeing their opportunity and they are striking back and taking land from the enemy. That probably helps me, actually. Are the French at war with them? Because otherwise... No, they're not. So they are actually blocking this army that I believe you can cross over here, right? That would otherwise be crossing over here. It's now blocked. Wonderful. And we have a new town in Bulgaria, Bucharest. Wonderful. Should really be building some stuff up in New France and the areas around there. Right, so I did strike here. And we are replenishing. I do have the secondary army ready to march up. Which one the secondary army. The thing is, should I continue to strike towards down here in Italy, or do the Prussians have military access through us? That's an important thing which I just thought about. I will offer indefinite access to them. I'm sure they won't actually agree to it unless I give them a bit of money. So I want them to be able to pass through my lands to attack their enemies, because they are at war with France, Bavaria, and all these places. And I want them to be able to march through my area. So really what I see an opportunity to strike here and actually take this, but I'm not entirely sure what they've got there. So I want to see if I can get my spy over there. The Spanish seems to have abandoned Amsterdam. I want them to go down here and take a look. Unfortunately though, I won't be able to advance because this region is in such uproar. We'll go ahead and build a trade port, and then I could actually allow for Hanover to come out of this. However, I'm leaning more towards handing this over to the Prussians so that I can continue the campaign. Did I not replenish this one? Apparently not. I think that's what I'll do. I do want them to have a trade post there, just to, well, we can already trade with the Prussians, perhaps it's not that important. I will march into the Netherlands and start threatening that. Now this could rise into Hanover, but I'm pretty sure the Prussians would declare war on it. So I will be handing that over to the Prussians. And we should actually hand this region as well over to the Prussians. I'm not interested in holding on to this either. Although, could I get some sort of Prussian troops if I continue here? If I hold this later on. I am in the wrong... There we go. Kernisburg. I would get Prussian line infantry. 10 units of them, I imagine. However, would I really want to hold onto that region for that long? I don't think so. So, we're empowering the Prussians now. Perhaps that will bite us in the ass in the end of it. But here we go. I'm hoping the Prussians will take a bigger part in this war. I'm gonna hand over those two regions plus 10,000 gold. And they agree. Right, so... And they hold them just fine. Good. I just enlarged Prussia more than they have ever done. And even if the regions break off now, there'll be trouble for the Prussians and not me. So that's done. Let's see. This army needs to continue. I don't know where the Russian army... oh, there it is. The large Russian army went, but I just saw it. We're getting closer. 2 turns away. Base 3 turns, unfortunately. Looks like they're trying to bypass the fort. I wonder here if I could actually destroy the Russians in one fell swoop here by having this army strike towards the enemy's capital. I wonder though how many troops. Unfortunately, I do not have a spy close by, so I do not know how many troops there are here. It looks like Sweden's going to come in as well to take it out. So for now, that's what I'm going to do in Europe. Do not really dare just yet to go straight for any one of the larger armies down here. But otherwise that would be a thing. And since we already had a battle in this episode. Otherwise, everything kind of looks fine. We do have this Arab army or Middle Eastern army, which I could launch like towards this island. Where's my navy down here? I didn't place it in this port. There it is. Oh yes, because it was protecting this, because this is where all my Indian trade comes from. However, I think it's safe now. They will jump over to the dry dock on Malta, and then from there... there I actually got a navy here. Oh yeah, that was going around attacking all the ports. There's actually a French navy there. You know what, then I don't actually need to have this fleet here. It can go back to protecting the very important center. And instead you will be heading down to picking up this navy and then landing it on Sardinia. Well, the region will not revolt from this, which is good. So we will head on. I wonder if... I haven't even checked if they've got anything of importance here, or in terms of army troops. And then launch the army. We'll have to launch it in 2 steps. Right. I could have launched it directly onto land, but if I launch it this way, I actually get some movement points here. Right, they do not have a lot. They have grenade throwers, but they have like very old style troops defending this area, so not a lot. So that should be that we should be do quite well against that. Seize that island, seize as much territory from the enemy as possible. Right, let's go ahead and take a look at North America then, because yeah, unfortunately we're very much stuck here. We're not getting anywhere fast here. What I need to do is... Why am I getting so much unhappiness? Clamor for reform. Where is the university that this province supposedly has because of the clamor of reform? Am I missing something? Where is the university? Oh, it's situated... Right, the province goes over here, so the university is all the way over here. You know what? There's no, like, super technology that I want to work on, so let's tear that down. Make it easier for us to advance. That removes 23, which should hopefully actually allow us to move on from this. What I could do here is, instead of building a crafts workshop, we'll build a coaching inn. I want to split off one of the... Oh, I already have some ships going down here to block that. Good. Oh, wait, they have no troops here. When did they move all the troops they had here? Well, that's a golden opportunity that I cannot miss. So, let's go ahead and split the armies then. If I can remember who had what. Right, and now he needs 3 grenadiers. 4 grenadiers? This army lost, this was the one that lost the grenadier, right? And then he need infantry. One more. Right, this is what it looks like. And then he can march on and take Montreal, which I'm gonna out-resolve so he gets a little points for his stars. He becomes a little bit of a better general. Go ahead and repair that. Upper Canada is now under my control. Mentioned in dispatches. Rumors of cowardice. He's mentioned in dispatches. Does not become as glorious when there's rumors of cowardice. You can kind of tell then what sort of rumors or what sort of things is mentioned in dispatches. They've got all 3 churches here. All to torture native kids. How horrible. We'll tear down all these schools. Right, so they do have troops coming up through here, but that should be fine. I'm blocking the big armies, which are on this side. Then we'll take a look here. I think, though, for these armies, Colonial Line Infantry, American Boston Infantry, Queen's York's Rangers, American Infantry Mercenaries, Colonial Line Infantry. Well, since we have taken Boston, we should get Boston troops, so we'll rally the Bostonians. The Bostonians will come to us. Boston, look no further than to Scotland for your aid. And then Crafts Workshop, lots of Crafts Workshop there. Philadelphians, do we have American PA Line Infantry troops? Yes. Lots of Pennsylvanians, look no further than the Scottish Army. I needed to have cavalry for this army actually, because I needed to replace that. Go ahead and repair that.
Yes, my lord.
My spy should head further down through the south.
Taking cover.
This spy should head further through here.
Is assured.
Figure out what the French got there. This spy should be up right across there.
Your lordship.
Most of this I actually know, so
Eyes are yours.
I would want to see what's up all the way up here,
Another.
which is not much.
Your Majesty
And then you would stick around Maine,
is assured. What
and you will be heading this way as well. Right, so I'm waiting for the Americans to be recruited into these armies before we move here. Also, their population is kind of unhappy, but they're still happy enough that quite a few of them wants to be recruited into my forces. In the on the islands, the island boys, there's nothing to be said. Let's go back to Europe then. Right, I've moved everything I can. Let's go ahead and wait for the reinforcements then to be recruited. And for the armies that fought in the big battles to replenish, and perhaps we'll see about getting another attack. So, looking at this area, I was thinking about attacking this area, but now there's a rather large full stack here. The French got a lot of cannons, in their armies. I also note Swiss Guard, elite units, and Swiss Grenadiers. And Roman Line Infantry. Not that good necessarily, but probably... what am I looking for? Worth mentioning. There we go. That wasn't too hard. I'll order Addleton to actually take the bridge here.
Waiting for orders.
I am sort of wanting to go north, but at the same time I'll probably be stuck there then. It's better that the Prussians work through here. Right, let's go ahead and end turn and see if our enemies come up with something this time around. The enemy again does not bring directly into conflict. I do note that over in North America their units are kind of overrunning a lot of my positions. We've got enemy navy turning up here, which very well could sink my trade navies, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Upper Canada under my control. I should actually switch the armies here.
Any further orders?
So this army
Forward.
will march to take here, and you'll march back, just because this is the army that is fully replenished, and this is the army that lacks a grenadier. And as you can see, they're now marching up to attack there. They're also marching all around Boston. Pennsylvania has some riots. But it should be fine soon enough. New France had some riots, but this is now good as well. All the Americans being recruited, more Cossacks being recruited. Public servant died. Okay, so in government, 2 in government actually. Constructions, a port, Kaiserin Pass. Interesting. From World War II. If you know about that. Anyways, I think that for today's battle, for second battle, we're not going to go to India. That was a misclick. Back to Europe. What I noticed is the Swedish army has now marched up within striking distance of the Russians. Now, my army is not close enough to strike. However, I do have this army that could strike. So I think that will be the attack there. I just want to see if perhaps this is an out-resolve. No, it's not. 5,790. I noticed they have the same picture for the general. They have 4,100 men against my 5,700. Mine all have veterancy though. Theirs doesn't. And even though I have very small caliber guns, should be fine. But I am actually more interested in doing this. So what I want to do is I want to bring up this army of Russian troops to start the attack, and then we'll do similar what we did when we attacked. I can't remember what it was. But we, just like we did, let the Prussians do most of the fighting, we'll allow the Swedes to do most of the fighting here. Actually, a lot more Russian troops defending this than I thought it would be. 4,600. So the Swedish army has quite a bit of work cut out for them. I do think that our combined force is around 8,000 men, so it's almost twice of what the Russian have. So we should be fine. But it's still gonna be a tough fight. Have they recruited a Danish? It looked like an American. Anyways, let's not linger here. Onwards to battle, and let's crush these Russian swine. And here we are on the battlefield. The Swedish cavalry started off right away just charging straight into the Russian line. And they've been sending troops ever since. My army just about reached here in time to mop up a little bit on what's left. The Swedish cavalry has been relentlessly attacking the enemy. But then also they have suffered quite a bit of casualties as well due to that. We can see this unit here of Finnish cavalry suffered almost everyone as a casualty. Only 15 remain out of 100. And here's another one. The Royal Guards, where only 9 men stand tall. I'm not entirely sure where I am supposed to kind of insert my troops into this, because the Swedes have just gone straight in and attacked the enemy. So I'm not entirely sure if I even get my Russians into battle. But I'll try. Russian on Russian warfare. The first thing that happened actually is over here where the Finnish cavalry just charged straight into this Streltsky unit. Completely destroyed it and then just continued on attacking the two cavalry units that were close by. I don't think I'll be able to get my maybe my Russians will be able to get 1 or 2 shots off, but it looks like the Russian army is gonna get crushed before I get there, which is interesting since the battle is I commence the battle, and so I am the one that will claim the town afterwards. They have 1 unit here, the Russian general, it looked like, or was it what the? No, grenadier. I don't know why I said general. Did we fire there, or was that? There we go. One of our units is firing a little bit. This musketeer unit, where the Swedish general is charging straight into it, followed by his infantry. We'll get to shoot a little bit on them, but that's about it. Otherwise it looked like the Swedes did all of it. One thing though is I can definitely see why when you out-resolve that sort of sometimes the casualties, it's not as bad in these, but in other Total Wars it's usually comprised of like a few units. And you can kind of see here why, because the AI just threw everything straight at the enemy, and it just became a massive slaughter, as you can see here. As what we can see now is we lost 4 men during this battle, probably due to friendly fire. Which unit actually lost 4 men? This one right here. Right, it lost 1 guy there. Perhaps it was Swedish cavalry riding through this. I don't think anyone fired back at us. Anyways, the battle is won, and we basically did nothing to earn claiming this town. And here's the result of the battle. The combined army numbered 8,100 men against 4,600 Russians. We ended up losing 1,400 men, which I think is surprisingly low given how tough, or like how the Swedes just threw their units right at the Russians. I was expecting a lot higher number. Although when I say 1,400 men or 1,500 men lost on our side, all of that is Swedish troops. I only lost 4 men that stumbled probably in the rain on the wet grass or so and fell over and accidentally shot themselves or something. The entire Russian force was lost. Yada yada. Nothing really important to say there. We got awarded kills after the battle, so I guess we got to, yeah. We'll not go into that, but at least 1 unit got a chevron, so I got a little bit of experience from that. And with that, not only did I crush the Russians, I took their last province. What was that last one? I missed that. Isle of Man. No one likes that place anyways, so why should I care? I'm thinking we're not going to build military infrastructure here. And let's see. Is all the villages done in this province? Villages are not growing because there's a massive budget deficit. Bankruptcy is going hard. 101 wealth per turn minus for this province. Not very good. Not very good at all. So I'm not going to tear down too many structures right away like I was hoping to. We need to build that. This one though, this one should be turned down because it could build into a kiln. The Swedish army lost its general during the battle, and now they're not able to get a hold of this province either. Perhaps I will award these areas to Sweden, but right now I'm gonna hold on to them. Now you might think that the Indian army is then out on a wild goose chase. Why would they go here? Well, we still need to go all the way up here to attack the place that the Bavarians hold. So we'll continue all the way up there. The province is a little bit unhappy. I think that will change once we get things going here though. And if nothing else, then I could send over some militia troops from this area. Given that this does not recruit any special troops more than the troops that we already have, then I think I will actually destroy this barrack. And actually I'll keep it just because it's bordering on nothing actually. Also, yes, we need to deal... Why didn't I go off this one first? Or was that the plan, just that I forgot it? All the Cossack troops here are recruited. Or these, yeah. That's what I'm gonna call them. They will be heading here. Now, I have no idea what the French keep here. But I'm hoping it's not a lot. In case there is a lot, then I will recruit some cavalry to back them up. Right, and then Finley. How old is Finley now? Because I feel like he's been with us for quite a while. 94 years old. Yeah. Soaked in claret. If I was 94 years old and I was forced to go on a military march to Russia, I'd probably also be soaked in claret. And I definitely bring my stupid nephew, which, by the looks of it, definitely looks stupid. And Eastern Mystic, you gotta have one of those, and a barber, because I'm not shaving myself. Right, very few troops in Amsterdam. I will go ahead, demand surrender. They refuse surrender. We should quite easily take this. So I feel like this is an outer assault. We lost 600 men, so 10% of the army. While the enemy lost everything. And in exchange, I just took over the Netherlands. Now the thing is here, as I said earlier, I actually want the Netherlands to... Oh, crap. Wallonian Guards. Dutch Line Infantry, Walloon Guards. Shit. The enemy's got tons of really good troops. I'm gonna run to the bridge. What I'll do is I'll probably give this territory to someone else just before the rebels are about to seize it. So I don't get the ire of the Dutch. Someone else does. And then I'll just go ahead and befriend them. And everything will be fine. Wouldn't it? As I move through here, I note that Württemberg has 3 full stack army. 60 units! How can they afford that? How could they possibly afford all of that? Holy crap, that's a lot of units. Anyways, that was a nasty surprise to realize the Spanish got an army full of guards here. I do note though, while they're heavy on infantry, they've got very few guns. They've got 24 pounder, but that's about it. I should get some more spies over on the coast here. We'll attack this port. And then you'll head through there, take a little bit of a look at Paris, and then be heading this way. Alright, let's go ahead and continue to attack the French ports here to stop trade, but also stop them building ships. Good. Next time we'll do this battle and we'll continue on the grand scheme of things. Very good though, I took out the Russians here. And everything seems to be going quite well, but I figure soon enough here we'll see some really large battles against some really tough foes. I'm hoping that if the Spanish attack here, we'll get a bridge battle, because I desperately would need that. But with that, I think we're fine for today, right? We got 2 battles, and we seized quite a few provinces from the enemy. So I think that's good. With that said, I will be saying what I always say. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully, I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.